Hi, I'm Steve Gellatly. I'm the pastor of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in West Milton. I grew up in Alhambra, California. Alhambra is a suburb of Los Angeles. It actually borders Los Angeles on the northeast side. It is just south of Pasadena. So I've been up to see the Rose Parade several times. In fact, a good friend of mine and I, when we were young, would ride our bikes up to the parade route on New Year's Day. I remember one story in particular about growing up. There was an ice cream parlor close to our house. It was called Temptations. It was a wonderful place, and my parents would take my brothers and I there when report cards came out. Well, we were pretty good students, and so my parents rewarded us by taking us to Temptations to have ice cream. So it was very difficult for us to pray the Lord's Prayer and lead us not into temptation. Because that was one place that we wanted desperately to go. In fact, the joke is that the Lord's Prayer became for us, lead us into temptation. Some of the things that I like to do when I'm not officially doing pastor stuff is to read, to watch sports on TV. Years ago, when I was able, I was involved in playing sports. And certainly when our children were young, I enjoyed tremendously spending time with my girls and being involved in the things that they were involved in. A person who greatly impacted my life was my grandmother, my mother's mother. And I think the reason I would say that is because she had a tremendous faith. She was like a rock. Many terrible things happened to my cousins primarily. But through them all, my grandmother was a rock. Her faith never wavered. She always had a way about her that was just meaningful to me. And I really do think that maybe it was because of her that I thought about going into the ministry and why I became a pastor. If I was not a pastor, what would I be doing? A great question. Before I went to college and seminary, in the early 1970s, I had visited all 4 of the recruiters in the branches of the military. I was interested in becoming a pilot. But back then, I was told by each of the recruiters that I had to have perfect, uncorrected 20/20 vision, which I did not. So, the dreams of becoming an airline pilot were put on hold or squashed completely. And over time, I just gravitated to becoming a pastor. A few years ago, I took a hiatus or a leave from pastoral ministry and tried my hand at being an insurance agent and failed miserably. And so now I'm back being a pastor. I was baptized when I was 3 months old, and my parents always took me to church. I remember going to Sunday school, vacation Bible school, I remember going to confirmation, becoming an acolyte. taking communion for the first time. For me, there was never a time when I was not a part of the church. So faith just naturally developed, I guess. I certainly can remember some of the people who were Sunday school teachers or Bible school teachers. I remember my pastor when I was a young adolescent. And all of these people had a tremendous impact upon me, and I am very thankful for each and every one of them. I would want to say, that faith is not something that is static, that we just go through life at the same level of faith, but that we have times of strongly believing and times when faith is really stretched or perhaps even non-existent. And so we have this up and down as we progress through our lives. But what is so important for us to realize is that through those peaks and valleys, Christ is faithful. And it's not because of our faith, but it's because of the faith that Jesus has in each and every one of us, and the love that Jesus has for us as well. The novel coronavirus has had a tremendous impact upon us all. For me personally, well, I've been spending a lot of time at home. Amazingly, my wife allows me to stay in the house. I haven't been thrown out, not yet. My wife and I have watched many programs on TV, and I have read many books. We have taken the dog for many, many walks. Life has been pretty dull, really. Pretty boring. We've had to cancel a couple of vacations that we had planned. We've rescheduled one of them for September, and I hope that we are able to go on that one. We'll have to wait and see. I certainly look forward to the time when we can gather together in our churches to celebrate and to check in on one another.